Synopsis of the books of the Bible. 1st Chronicles. By JND Darby. All scripture is given by inspiration of God, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. 2 Timothy 3 verses 16 and 17. Synopsis of the books of the Bible. By John Nelson Darby. 1st Chronicles, chapters 6 to 9 verse 34. Levi's genealogies and those of other tribes. In the genealogies of Levi, 1st Chronicles 6, we see, first of all, the line of high priests until the captivity, and then the Levites, their services and their cities. After Levi come Issachar, 1 Chr. 7-1, Benjamin, 1st Chronicles 7 verse 6, Naphtali, 1st Chronicles 7 verse 13, few in number, the other half-tribe of Manasseh, 1st Chronicles 7 verse 14, Ephraim, 1st Chronicles 7 verse 20, and Asher, 1st Chronicles 7 verse 30. Then we find Benjamin again, 1st Chronicles 8, first of all with reference to Jerusalem, and afterwards in connection with the family of Saul. The genealogies reveal that where there was faith God blessed individually. But that which has been preserved here of the genealogies of the people, unaffecting remnant, through grace, of those who had fallen under the sorrowful condemnation of Lo-Ruhamah and Lo-Ammi, reveals to us another circumstance, namely, that, wherever there has been faith, God has blessed his people individually. Jabez, 1st Chronicles 4 verses 9 and 10, the son of affliction, seeking blessing in the presence of the God of Israel, failed not to find it. Jehovah enlarged his borders, and so kept him from evil that it grieved him not. Simeon, although dispersed in Israel, was able to drive out the enemy and possess their land, even unto Mount Seir. The 2 tribes and a half beyond Jordan enlarged their territories also, and possessed the gates of their enemies, because they cried unto God. Afterwards, they were carried away captives because they forsook God. Thus, although there was neither the power of the king nor the order of the kingdom, yet, wherever there was faith, God blessed those of his people who trusted in him. The preservation of genealogy, the proof of faith. These genealogies were imperfect. The condition of Israel bore the impress of the ruin which had befallen them, but also that of the goodness of God who had brought back a remnant, and who had preserved all that was needful to place those who formed it in the record of his people. If the needful proof to give them a title to this were wanting, such as were of the people ceased to enjoy their proper privileges, and the priests their sacerdotal position, until a priest stood up with Urim and with Thummim. For these genealogies served as a means to recognize the people. Happy he who had preserved his own, and who had so appreciated the heritage of Jehovah as to attach value to it. It was a proof of faith, for, it might have been said, of what use are these genealogies in Babylon? The use made of genealogies. As to the Levites, for it is good to serve the Lord, their genealogies, their cities, and their services were known with sufficient certainty, even with respect to those that dwelt at Jerusalem. The mercy of God has not forgotten either to preserve a lamp in the house of Saul, for in judgment God remembers mercy. 1st Chronicles 9 teaches us the use which they made of their genealogies. For those mentioned in it are persons who had returned from the captivity, as may be seen in Nehemiah 11. This portion of the book closes at 1st Chronicles 9 verse 34. Verse 35 begins the narrative,